All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke. Glad you're with us for Weather Extra. I think we're about 5 seconds earlier, so that's not too bad. A lot of you, 45 already in the room. Must be a quiet day. Definitely more humid, a day where air conditioning tends to feel a little bit nicer than being outside, and we're going to have plenty of days just like this moving forward. Unfortunately, we told you Thursday would kind of be that transition day. If you were out early this morning, maybe went for your morning walk, run, whatever your routine is, taking the dogs out, probably just felt a little bit more sticky. And we're going to talk dew points here. All that added moisture, showers and storms, inevitable on a day like today, and that's going to happen as we go through the afternoon into the evening. So here we go. Let's get right to it. 3-day forecast. High today, 88 degrees. I do have to point out that we did hit 90 degrees finally in Huntsville. First time of 2025 that we've seen 90, and sometimes we see it during the month of April. It's not uncommon. Usually hit it in May. This year hit it on June the 11th. So took a while. I know the Shoals had a 90-degree day at some point in May. So you guys actually only hit 89 yesterday. So funny how that works sometimes, but that's how the weather goes. I wish it was uniform everywhere. It would make my job a whole lot easier, of course, but we are expecting pop-up showers and storms to develop as early as noon and then continue through most of your afternoon into that evening commute. Not really looking at a severe weather threat today. Maybe a few isolated stronger storms. Could get some of those special weather statements from the National Weather Service just saying, hey, this storm, this one cell in particular, you might see some 35, 40 mile per hour winds, maybe some pea-sized hail, but a lot of lightning too. Now a high of 88 today. A lot of that just has to do with a little bit more cloud cover than yesterday. And we've got the south wind, so the air is very humid. Therefore, our feels like temperature, or that heat index, it's going to be in the mid-90s for a good portion of the afternoon, unless you see a shower or storm popping up in your location. So overnight tonight, go down to a low of 71, warm, muggy start, maybe a little patchy fog for Friday morning. Might factor that into your Friday morning commute. High of 85 tomorrow. Our warming is going to be a bit more limited just because we'll have more scattered showers and storms. I think we'll see a bit more coverage for Friday afternoon and evening, and then through portions of your Father's Day weekend too, unfortunately. We'll be tracking some periods of rainfall and storms. I know the pattern is repetitive. Weather Extra is going to get repetitive. I'm with you the next couple of days through the weekend as well. That's just kind of how it goes this time of year. You get into this pattern and it never seems to go away. Usually it takes a cold front of sorts to come in, or a big ridge of high pressure to build in to eliminate that shower and storm chance for every afternoon. But that's not going to happen until maybe the end of next work week. So several days with the same exact forecast here. Hot, humid, might storm, might not storm. It depends. So isolated showers and storms popping up as we go through the afternoon and evening. No guarantee of rainfall in your location. So even though we have a chance of storms all the way through the weekend, some of you could go the next 4 days without seeing a single drop of rain. Some of you would like that. Others might complain about it. We'll probably be begging for rainfall at some point here as we go into the summer months. But here's a look on our Fly HSV Delta Cam. Looks like your lunchtime traffic or late breakfast traffic, it is only 10:30, is moving along just fine. We've got a little bit of cloud cover pushing in, kind of giving it more of a hazy appearance. But looking at our temperatures here, already at 81 in Fort Payne. We've got 83 Decatur, 82 in the Shoals, and 81 there in Russellville, Franklin County. This is the graphic, though, that is totally different from what we had yesterday. Yesterday, with that north wind, it kept our humidity levels very, very comfortable. We had drier air coming in. The dew point during the noon newscast yesterday, just in the upper 50s. That's why the 90 didn't feel too bad. When it's not too humid, you got a little wind, hey, that's all good stuff. Look at the dew point, though, in Coleman at 76 right now. That is some soupy air, and that's all coming from the Gulf straight in with that south breeze. So that's kind of that warm blanket effect that we see during those summertime months. High temperature still on track to warm into the mid to upper 80s, but think of the heat index, or feels like temperature, that will be in the mid-90s. We are expecting some isolated showers and storms to develop as we go through the hottest, most humid part of the day, that being late afternoon and evening. Coverage today, again, will be isolated. We've got a breeze today, so that helps a little bit with some of the humidity. Wind out of the south and southeast, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Taking a closer look at the day today, showing some of the cloud cover here on future satellite and radar. Looks like the newer model data kind of holding off on the isolated shower and storm development until at least about 1, maybe 2 o'clock here. But we will be looking at those pop-up showers and storms. Notice how you could still see a lot of areas that are missing out. Now you could look at this and you can't take it exactly for what it's worth. It's basically saying at parts of southern Jackson County at 2:30, you'll have rain and storms on top of you. Well, no, that's not really how models work. They say there's the potential. It's not exact per se. It's more that chaos theory here, hot, humid. You've got all the ingredients to see showers and storms. The model will just struggle to pinpoint exactly when and where these storms do develop. But it looks like as we go through the rest of the afternoon into that evening commute, still might be tracking some downpours, could have some lightning and some gusty winds with this. Any gusty winds would be brief. You basically get that storm that's collapsing, and that's about it. You get that rush of wind, but it could still knock down trees too, especially if you've seen rainfall earlier in the week like we saw with some of those storms on Monday. So overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, maybe a shower or two overnight. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder, but that's about it. So it should be a pretty quiet start to the day on Friday. Temperatures start off warm and muggy in the low to mid 70s under mostly cloudy skies. So here's 8 a.m. and this is what we're thinking as far as your rain and storm potential for the day on Friday. I think it will be just about identical, maybe a few degrees cooler. That's about it. But we go and we look at the model data coming in, almost starts to bring in a line of storms. And if we actually get a line of storms, I think our threat for potential damaging wind gust would be a little bit higher, but this is just an indication of what it may look like. And then we kind of get a swath of heavier rain coming in. So if you have Friday afternoon plans, I know my friends all play golf Friday afternoon. I'll have to sit this one out. Unfortunately, I will be working, but that's how it goes. Happy to do my job and happy to let you guys know what's going on for Father's Day weekend too tomorrow. So make sure you join me for noon. You know I could be on the golf course, but I'll be with you. So tracking the potential for heavy rain, maybe some small hail with this, frequent lightning, gusty winds. But the coverage tomorrow should be a bit more scattered in nature versus the more isolated storms we're anticipating today. Now we start off your Father's Day weekend. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Temperatures warm and muggy in the low to mid 70s. Looks like we're partly to mostly cloudy, so if you have a pool day planned, you'll still see some sun. It just won't be nonstop sunshine from start to finish through the day on Saturday. Actually keeps us dry for a good portion of the morning, which would be a nice treat because as we go later into the day, hottest, most humid part of the day, guess what happens? More rain and storms starting to pop up through Saturday afternoon into the evening. We go into Sunday. Now this is going to be some of that longer range model data. It's usually not as precise. It could handle the farther out days versus the near term, which we use the short term models. But we're looking at potential for rain maybe Sunday morning. This is Father's Day. If you have a barbecue planned, a pool party, celebrating with dad, stepdad, grandpa, father figures across the board here, I would anticipate maybe some 1 to 2 hour delays with anything you have planned for either Saturday or Sunday. A promise, it will not rain and storm for the entire weekend. I guarantee that. But we will have periods with rain and storms on the radar. So something we're watching. Look at the forecast rainfall. I've pulled back the view, not showing you just the Tennessee Valley, but a lot of places across the southeast are going to have the same thing. And that's kind of a wet weekend. Showers and storms expected. Some people picking up 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Some of you, if you get hit with multiple days of storms and heavy rainfall, you could see 2 to 3 inches of rain. So it's going to be very kind of, your neighbor down the street could have 2 inches of rain. You see a little sprinkle and that's it. Father's Day weekend, by the numbers, 85 on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. Both days very humid, so it will feel more like 90 plus degrees. Scattered rain and storms on Saturday there. Some of those could be strong, as well as for Father's Day Sunday. Father's Day Sunday does look like we have a chance of maybe seeing some rain showers there during the morning hours. All the activity now starting to develop here over the past hour or two over parts of East Texas into Oklahoma, even up into Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. But this is the moisture that's streaming in, fueling those showers and storms, and that will reach the Tennessee Valley, or it already has. Once we start to heat up, we'll get some of that what we call daytime convection too. 71 overnight tonight. There is a small chance of seeing a shower or storm, or you just hear some thunder maybe in the distance, but it will be a muggy start to your Friday. Might have some areas of patchy fog for that morning commute. Clicker is really just not cooperating today. It's had enough fun, I guess, but we go into tomorrow. Temperatures in the mid-80s, feeling like low 90s with the heat index, maybe even mid-90s at times. Anticipating those isolated to scattered showers and storms developing through the afternoon, evening on Friday. And then we get to your extended forecast here, and notice how every single day, don't just look at the numbers, rainstorms that are Saturday. Doesn't mean it's going to rain and storm all day, as is your Father's Day Sunday there too. Temperatures start to heat up though as we go into next week, and I think it's next Friday is the first official day of the summer season. I know it's felt like it for a while now. Even the end of May was very summer-like too, with the humidity, the daily chances for rain showers and storms. But every single day moving forward, we don't have that high-pressure ridge building in or a cold front coming in to break us out of this repetitive pattern. So every single day, it's like Groundhog Day. Rinse and repeat forecast, same thing, hot, humid, feels like 90s, actual high in the 80s, and then we see showers and storms. No organized threat of strong to severe storms, so that's good news. We'll be watching maybe into the weekend as we get some of that higher resolution model data coming in for the potential of maybe an organized threat for severe storms, but not looking likely right now. Even though these storms aren't severe, doesn't mean it won't be impactful to plans you may have outside, if it's a pool party, whatever. These storms producing heavy rain, frequent cloud ground lightning safety, very important every day. If you hear thunder, see lightning, go inside. Maybe some small hail and gusty winds if those storms start to collapse and you get that big rush of wind down to the surface. So that's about it. That is your forecast. Why? Thanks for joining us, Cynthia. We will be wishing for rain. That's coming here sometime soon. But appreciate everyone joining me as always for Weather Extra. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay cool and watch the radar as we go into the afternoon, as we'll be tracking chances for pop-up showers and storms. Have a good Thursday. Hope to see you tomorrow at 10:30. Tennessee Valley Living, Peyton Walker will be interviewing my new co-anchor, Jonathan Skinner. He's going to join us on Monday. Me and Gina Benitez, 48 News Today. He's our newest addition to the 48 team. We're thrilled to have him, but you get to hear all about it on TVL at 11, and then I'll have more in your newscast at noon with Gina herself. So, see you.